Welcome back, guys. Or if you're new here, I'm Automotive Anonymous, and I'm currently driving a 2024 Subaru Forester. But more specifically, this is the base model that has kind of a crummy set of Bridgestone tires on it. They do have about 9 to 10 32nds of an inch of tread depth, so they're not shaved down like some other vehicles come from the manufacturer with. But they aren't Snowflake Mountain Peak rated like the Forester Wilderness I just hopped out of, or the Crosstrek, or the Outback Wilderness. These are just your standard set of kind of economy, kind of decent of the middle class, middle of the road, all season tires. So today in this video, I want to show you how does the base Subaru Forester do in snowy conditions. Technically, the lower half of Idaho has had a blizzard warning for the last couple days. So even though this might not look like blizzarding conditions, it is currently 17 degrees out, if you can see that on the screen. Everything underneath the snow and the powder and the slush is black ice, and the roads are quite slippery today. I've already put together a fun video driving my Outback Wilderness in similar conditions to show you how that one does, and I was a little bit more playful in my own video with my own vehicle. But then I've also done a Crosstrek Wilderness and a non-wilderness Crosstrek, as well as the Forester Wilderness. So I'm excited to show you guys this $28,000 non-Forester Wilderness, and I'll link it below if you're interested, because that's a pretty good deal. But you'll notice a lot of the other vehicles out today are all-wheel drive. They're trucks or SUVs. There's a hybrid RAV4. Those don't have a very good all-wheel drive system. It's an electric motor on those that kicks in the rear once you're already losing control. Whereas the Forester and all the other all-wheel drive Subarus, it's mechanical. So it's not electric, it's not clutch-based. It's all the time mechanical already happening. So the front wheels pull you forward, the rear wheels push you forward, and you have a lot of sense of peace of mind and confidence, typically when you drive something like this. But tires, your connection to the road, that's really gonna be the big thing that changes between modifications and between trim levels. And so my purpose for this video, after doing the Forester with the Geolander tires, is I want to see how these Bridgestones handle the road. So you can expect to see accelerations with traction on, traction off. You can expect to see braking tests, hard and soft braking, lane changes, turns, and things of that nature. And my overall opinion to how confidence inspiring does a Forester feel on the road. Do you feel like you need something bigger, something better? Or is the Forester actually one of the best vehicles that you can buy for winter driving? All right, I'm currently going about 30 miles an hour. I'm gonna go full throttle and see what happens. It gets up to speed nearly as well as the 2.5 liter Boxer usually would. And if you notice, the steering wheel didn't rotate, it didn't turn, it stayed pretty planted, pretty straight. So with 182 peak horsepower on these road conditions, it actually did pretty well just now. But there's a turn coming up here as indicated by the sign. Let's see how this does with some speed, changing the direction of our momentum. So we're going just below 35 in the cleared out lane. And this feels like a piece of cake. But can I change directions while turning? I can. The Forester only weighs about 3,500 pounds though. So you feel the bumps in the road, you feel going over the different densities and what is on the ground. So you might feel kind of floaty sometimes, but that really wasn't that bad. You know what though, let's slow down here. Let's see how easy it is to make this turn through some less plowed snow. I was pretty cautious just because there's a truck sitting right there, but that really wasn't that bad. I don't know where I am. I'm just going down through some pretty nice neighborhood that's unplowed roads, it looks like. So let's maybe do a U-turn here. Usually these can do a full circle in 36 feet. So let's see if we can do a U-turn. Oh, well, it looks like we're gonna come up to the curb if we do that. Not the brightest moment, but you really can't see what's going on between what's plowed and what's not plowed currently. But I'm sitting here with traction control on. Let's go full throttle, see what it does. It didn't let the tires spin as freely as I was expecting, although you guys could hear it revving. And the same test now with traction control turned off. felt pretty similar, but a little bit more wheel spin. I could detect a little bit more snow getting kicked up that time. But in Subaru all-wheel drive, when you have to jump across an intersection, these do really well. Even when you have just some average Bridgestone tires, it's gonna get a little bit squirrely, but it still feels a lot better than basically any other vehicle would with the same set of tires. I still feel like I can kind of rummage around town, have some fun, not really have to worry too much. You just have to be safe. You have to be conservative in your driving. Know that it's going to take 2 to 3 times longer to stop from the same distance than it otherwise would. Plan ahead. Don't make aggressive lane changes. Don't, go faster than the limit. Follow all the regular rules and guidelines you would, as well as you need to go with the flow of traffic. That's what they teach you in driver's ed. So it's less about the black and white rules of the road and more about what is safe in the situation. But overall, this Forester is doing a really good job. You just slide around a little bit when you're going between the grooves in the road. So these Bridgestone tires do not feel as good as the Falcon tires that had about the same tread depth on the regular Crosstrek I just drove. And they definitely don't do as well as the Geolanders on any of the 3 Wildernesses I've driven in the last couple days. But they're not bad. I would still wear them out, unless you're really going to be in a lot of heavy snow. If you're driving somewhere that you get snow, over half the year, then maybe consider having a dedicated Blizzak or some other snow tire that you can swap on just like a steely wheel or whatever your preference. But under normal circumstances, this vehicle is doing a lot better than most other vehicles. And to enjoy driving in the winter, I've come to the conclusion that you either have to be a car enthusiast, you have to be crazy in the head, or you have to drive a Subaru. Let's do another acceleration, full throttle and then half throttle with traction control on. Full throttle. Not bad, you can hear it kicking up. And it got up to 30 miles an hour, even though the wheels are spinning closer to 40. Now, let's do half throttle and see what that's like. You can watch the RPM. Yeah, not bad at all. Full brake pedal at about 30. Woo. Kind of abrupt near the end, but it's what you expect in the winter. And now traction control is off. Let's do a little bit of a turn and I'll give it just a little bit of gas. Yep, it likes to slide. And that's fun, but we want to be careful, and this is a new vehicle. So I'm going to slow down. We're going to do a full throttle with traction off now. Wheel spin galore. You could see it was revving pretty high. Now let's do a half throttle acceleration. And then a full brake test going slightly uphill from about 30. Basically, there's no reason to turn traction control off if you're just daily driving, going around town. Leave it on, let all the electric aids and nannies do their job to help you out. If you're off-roading or soft-roading, as it's more likely known as in the Subaru world, because these aren't, like a Ford Bronco or a Wrangler, things like that. That's when you would go into X mode. If your Subaru has X mode, that's when you want to have a little bit more wheel spin, where those systems kick in below 25 miles an hour. But just normal driving, leave traction on. It is going to feel like it drags it down a little bit when you're trying to spin, and sometimes you do need a little bit more power to correct a slide and to redirect the rear end and things like that, just from letting it slide the way that you want it to. But overall, even though these Bridgestone tires aren't fantastic, they're the economy tires that are going to come on a modern all-wheel drive vehicle. But I mean, Subaru obviously stands behind them if they're going to put them on their vehicles. And for 25 grand, 28 grand. What is this, 2019? That's not what cars cost anymore. 28 grand. This does a pretty good job, and if I'm knocking it a lot, it's only because it's the base model, and what do you expect with the base model? You get the lowest quality of stuff. Doesn't mean it's bad stuff though, especially from Subaru. Anyways, guys, I hope this video is insightful or beneficial to you in any way. Whether you have a Forester or any other Subaru or you're considering one, share your comments below. I want to hear what your impressions of it are, your expectations for it, and what your tire setup has been and what experiences you've had with that, for if you'd recommend it to other people or if you wouldn't. I'm not sure why they're going so slow, but that's okay. We can pass them because we're in a Subaru Forester. Woo woo! Anyways, if you guys found my video helpful in any way, please consider liking it. That small act of kindness actually goes a really long way in helping it get shared and spread like butter on toast. But otherwise, I wish you guys the best until the next one. Drive safe, be safe out there, make good decisions. And until next time, see ya.